What do you got? Which ones? You over here? Yeah, these ones? Okay. Is that it? All right, thank you. You want these ones? Right here? Thank you. Hey Collective, it's Intuitive Pisces Moon, and welcome to another episode of Intuitive Kitty Korner. So these are the cards that Kitty has picked for your reading for today. And as you can see, I split them into two different piles because it feels like there's some separate energy going on here. So we're going to be reading on those. But I do want to mention before I start into this reading today that there is a book giveaway going on in the month of November. So if you comment the word book, B-O-O-K, on any video that I post this month all throughout November, then you are entered to win a free copy of this book. So it is called The Art of Expression. It was just released on Amazon last month. It is now available in 3 formats: ebook, paperback, and hardcover. You will be winning this paperback first edition. So the contest runs for the whole month, and you only need to type in 4 letters to enter: B-O-O-K. You can check out a free sample download of it on Amazon in the links in the description. Good luck, and you must be a subscriber to win. So this book is filled with all kinds of really cool stuff. There's 5 steps on how to get through shadow work. There's poetry in here. There's artwork in here. There's self-help stuff, informational stuff. There's also a little bit of my story and just the things that I have gone through myself in my spiritual journey and growth. So anyways, enough about that. Let's jump into your reading for today. So, based on the 2 different piles that we have going on here, over here on the left side, we have the Chalice, rejuvenation and fulfillment, kind of like the Ace of Cups. I look at this one as the Caduceus, you'll receive news from afar, and then we have serendipity. Bright new prospects are on the horizon. So there's definitely something beautiful here with this energy. And what this is giving me is something incoming to you, and it's going to be very healing. It's going to be great news and something that you may or may not be expecting. And it is on the horizon. So this is something that is going to get you through this next, I'm hearing like new beginning, right? And potentially in love, right? The Chalice, I always look at that. Ace of Cups. So that is definitely there. And it's so close you can taste it. That's what I'm hearing. Then over here in this pile, we have the Dagger and the Siren. So conflict and danger lie in wait, and temptation may lead you astray. So what I'm getting with this message is that while you have this beautiful energy over here that wants to come through and is just so close to you, that while these things start to show up in your life, you may actually get multiple offers from multiple places, and some of them may not be in your best interest. They may seem like a temptation to sway you away from this beautiful energy over here. So just wanted you to be aware of that because, not everything that shows up is meant for you. Some things show up as like a test, like, oh, are you sure you want this? I'm also going to present this other thing that may tempt you away from this, okay? So I'm going to get into the tarot that came out. So we do have the 5 of Wands, okay? I always see the 5s as change, but with the wand in particular, it's giving me conflict, and we do have conflict up here as well. Okay, so what you may perceive as a temptation that may want to lead you astray is going to lead you to conflict. So it's not something that is going to give you peace, give you this beautiful energy that's over here, okay? It might seem like an easy way out to something. Like, I'm trying to think of how to present this to you all. Like, if you're looking for a job, maybe it's claiming to be an easy job that you can just do and get paid a lot of money for barely any work. But then when you get there, you find out that it's not all it's cracked up to be. Maybe there's way more involved than what you thought. Maybe it goes against your moral code, like something like that, you know? So look for things like this. Could be a relationship. If that's what you're looking for, you might get this person that shows up and seemingly is everything that you want, but I'm hearing like wolf in sheep's clothing. Maybe they are not all they present themselves to be towards you. Okay? So this is the difference between like very authentic, beautiful energy here versus inauthentic and something that's not going to bring you peace. In fact, it's going to bring you like battle and conflict. I'm even hearing competition. Somebody's like competing with you for something. So again, if it's a job, let's say, maybe somebody tells you you're a shoo-in, you're going to get the job for sure, and then like turns out you have a ton of competition, or you feel that you're constantly in competition with other people. Maybe you are led to believe it's like an hourly paid job, and then it turns out that it's commission based, and so it's just a very cutthroat industry type of thing, you know? So just be careful with this energy over here. So let's see what else. We also got the Six of Swords, which I am showing that you are getting away from something, okay? So this might even be old energy. Maybe this was something that you might have entertained before, and there's something within you now that's like, you know what? No, I don't choose that for myself. In fact, we do have the Death card that also came out. So something is being let go of and being reborn from something else. Okay, I always love the Death card, okay, Scorpio energy, but also it is allowing a version of yourself to be let go of so that you can grow from something and become something else. So almost like Phoenix rising, the lotus flower, that sort of thing, the butterfly coming out of the cocoon. So anytime you have the Death card, it is all about letting things go, but then from that fertile ground to allow new things to bloom in its place, okay? So let's see what's going to bloom in its place. We have the Four of Wands here. That is very solid and stable energy. Now that could be a union, that could be celebrations, that could be a marriage. That could also be the 1111 card. So I don't know if you guys are seeing 1111 a lot, you know, on the clock, just in general with the synchronicities, that sort of thing. And that's tying me to this serendipity card with the renewal of love. Okay. So once you have let go of something that was not solid, that was not stable, it's birthing this new energy over here that is allowing you to become stable. So we also have, and in my readings lately, a lot of masculine energy has been coming up. I just did a short this morning, and you may be seeing this tomorrow, so it was yesterday. All the masculine energy that came out. So we do have a King of Cups here. We have two knights. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. And then we have this little Page of Swords energy that came through as well. So it's very interesting because we have all this action and motion happening. We have fast moving action versus slow and steady moving action. And these could be offers being presented to you, okay? So Knight of Wands could be something that might be that temptation where it's very fiery, it's very passionate, but it's not stable, it's not solid like the Knight of Pentacles, okay? So pay attention to things as they come in and how they are presented to you, because someone might come in present themselves in a certain way. It's very quick, very hot, very fiery, very passionate. And maybe that might entice you because you're like, wow, this is intense. Okay? Fire energy is very intense. Maybe some of you have never experienced a fire sign before. It is very intense. Let me just say that. But it doesn't always last. And I'm not saying that fire energies are flaky. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that the Knight of Wands can be a very in and out energy. Like very fast, passionate, let's go, go, go. But then they burn out quickly. And they're like, okay, I have to take a break and then we'll go, go, go again. You know, that sort of thing. Whereas the Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady and firm and grounded and solid, and it's not something that you have to worry about, like, are they going to be here today, are they going to not be here today, like off and on kind of thing. Let's talk about jobs when it comes to these knights, because the Knight of Wands could be, again, maybe you're promised this huge payout in the beginning when you first start, but then you have a period of time where there's no payout. Like almost like the commissions or something like that, where it's like, here's a lot of money, and then like suddenly you have a dry period, like a shortage. With the Knight of Pentacles, it's solid, it's steady, it's consistent. Okay? So maybe you won't get that big giant payout in the beginning, but maybe over time, that pentacle energy will be more than enough for what you need. It's just going to be more consistent and more steady with how it's being presented. Okay. Now, if it's love related, you know, again, relationship wise, you're looking at someone who's going to rush in with the Knight of Wands with this fiery, passionate energy, but may then ghost or bail, not be available, you know, and then come back and be like, oh, hey, back on, right? We're fire again. Whereas the Knight of Pentacles is going to be consistent communication, consistent, grounded, stable, solid energy, right? Always there, always showing up, always communicating. And even if it's not like all day, every day, it's meaningful when it comes through. So the Page of Swords here is very interesting because I feel like it doesn't have a place on this table. It's just like the weird, odd card out. As you can see, it kind of doesn't fit in any category. So I always look at pages as more of like a childlike energy, okay? Knights are like the teenagers. Pages are like the kids. The king is like the father, you know? So seeing what's going on here, again, assessing it from a place of what are you being presented with. The page energy is somebody who just gives a very little bit. They're eager, but they don't know what they're doing. Like, it's reminding me of like a scorpion. Baby scorpions sting the worst because they don't know how to control their venom. They just like go all out. Whereas the adult scorpions will sting hard and fast and then be done with it. You know what I mean? So it's giving me that energy where this person doesn't know what they're doing. And I'm getting even immature energy, you know, like cautious, unaware of how to proceed. So whether this is an offer, like an immature offer, immature communication, because again, we're talking about jobs potentially and love situations. This person might be all up in their head, you know, air sign energy now. So it's interesting because all four signs are out. And now we go to the King of Cups, who is very mature, has mastered the emotions, the intellect. Sorry, the intellect is the swords. The intuition, that's what I meant to say. And so they are very emotionally secure. They know how to tap into their emotions, how to express their emotions, how to get into that intuition, and again, masculine energy. This is a balanced masculine energy here that has been through the masculine and feminine energies and knows what they are, what they present as, and what they have to offer. And again, we have the Four of Wands here, solid foundations. So I want to go to 3 other cards that fell out as I was doing something over here, because I have my cards all stacked up on the side here. And I just want to go through these because they came out. So the first one we have here is the Wounded Healer. The wound is the place where light enters. This is empathy, healing, and purpose. So this, to me, matches pretty well with this King of Wands energy. And if it is a love situation, it feels like this is 2 equally yoked individuals who have done their balanced work on both their masculine and feminine energies and are now ready to intertwine in some way. They both have been wounded and have healed themselves through whatever traumas they've been through. So they have done the work, found where the wound has caused them in the past to, again, potentially be unbalanced, and now sees what their purpose is in this lifetime, has raised their frequency, and is very empathetic. So again, King of Wands energy here, masculine and feminine. Now we also here have avoidance. So it's key to see the need to avoid discomfort, but also to overcome it and thrive. This is confrontation and progress. I'm putting that over here because that feels a lot like the temptation. The temptation to avoid your feelings and emotions instead of healing them might be what leads you to take the easy route. Okay? Now, I don't care what the circumstance is, whether it is job, relationship, etc., whatever it is, but that's the temptation over here. Avoidance is not working through the problem. It's going to cause you inner conflict. And it's going to tempt you to take the easy way. But the easy way is not the best way. Then we have authentic self. Be yourself, everyone else is already taken. So this is uniqueness and individuality. This is what happens, this is who you become when you start to do the work, that inner work. You realize that there's some wounds that need to be healed, and then you can show up as your authentic self. You have the choice to go through it or to avoid it. So that's why it feels like there's this split down the middle here of who's on this side and who's on this side, you know? I feel like you're probably all feeling that split too. Maybe you have actually met people that are on both sides. You're meeting people and seeing dynamics now between others where you can pretty much pinpoint exactly what's going on. You're almost cringing when you start to see some of this. Like, oh, I don't want to interact with that person because I can tell that they're just avoiding doing the work. And I'm over here in this pile and I can't. You don't have to, you're not required to. It could be family members that show up this way too. And you'll start to see it. You'll start to see it more and more and more. Let's see what else we have. Give me some more messages, please, for the collective for this reading. What else do we have that they need to know right now? Thank you. We have Princess, you can be your own knight. Look at that. Knight came out 3 times. So I don't know if that's for some of you who are waiting to be saved. And again, this could go in the middle, you know. There might be some of you in a group, more in the avoidance category, that are like, I'm waiting to be saved. And instead, Spirit's like, you can be your own knight. It's your job to save yourself. You're the one that's going to get yourself out of that castle at the highest tower of whatever, you know what I mean? So that's the wounded healer. And maybe some of you are being secluded at this time, like a forced hermit mode. That's what this is giving me. It's like you're being put alone so that you can sit with your thoughts instead of avoiding it. So there's probably a group of you out there that are also in that category. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. We got these two that came out. And one came out twice. I knew that one was going to come out. So we have number 11. So 11 came out again. This is the sun card. Also masculine energy. Paint the sun back in your sky. So someone might feel out there that they've been wronged in some way. Like they're maybe going through a dark night of the soul. And that's what this is giving me. I'm going to go deep on this card because this is what is coming to me for this card. If you are in a dark night of the soul, you're forced to be in a hermit mode right now. You're alone in some capacity. Your job during this time is to become your own knight and save yourself, but also to paint the sun back in your own sky. Okay? Remember what it said about the wound is the place where the light enters. This right here is about you doing that. You have this darkness, okay, dark night of the soul, and your job right now is to heal the darkness and incorporate the darkness and then paint that sun back in your sky. The last card that came out is forgiveness. So there might be some of you out there that have struggled with this. Struggled to forgive someone. Maybe someone did you dirty and you're like, look, I can't forgive them. It was so terrible whatever they did. And so you're being called to forgive them, forgive yourself, be your own knight, and paint the sun back into your sky. So in my book, I do give you, like I said, a 5-step process for doing shadow work. And I actually have a whole video on it on my other YouTube channel if you want to go check that out. Because I go into each step. And I even go into each step with meaning and how to better understand what it is you need to do to get to this process of looking at your shadow self and then integrating it. Most people who do this avoidance here don't get that far. Either they choose not to, there's various reasons for this, so I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just saying that we have some people out there that choose not to, and that's okay. But I'm getting that the people who do this process, know who these people are and don't choose to typically interact with those people because they choose to interact with the people who can see their shadow self and do integrate it. And the thing is these avoidant people might be in your family, might be your friends, might be your siblings. You might have to interact with these people on a regular basis. But rather than getting entangled with that energy anymore, you're choosing to move away from it so that you can go build your own solid foundation somewhere else. So it's like this is the difference between these two piles here. The ones who are choosing to do the work and choosing to heal from whatever has happened, and the ones who are just avoiding it and not choosing that. And so just know too that there's nothing that you can do for these avoidant people. You cannot force them to heal. And sometimes what I've realized is we show up in people's worlds to trigger them as our healed, authentic self. just existing as we do is triggering to them, because it shows them what they're avoiding and what they're not choosing to do. So just be aware of that. It's not that you're purposefully going up to people and trying to force them to heal or trying to trigger them. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes just by you living in your authentic energy, it is triggering to people. Right? When you're shining that bright beacon of light, you're going to attract two types. One are the types that are similar to you and bask in your glow, but also have a glow on their own, and then you can merge energies and be this beautiful co-creating entity. Then you have the ones that have not done it for themselves and just want some of yours and choose not to do it. So once you realize who is who and what you're allowing in your energy, then you will decipher for yourself what you're willing to settle for and what you're not. And I know that a lot of people struggle when it's their family. I know that. That's like the number one thing I hear people say. Well, but I have to see them on Thanksgiving or Christmas or birthdays because they're my family. And that's okay. So in some of my videos, I also teach you about energy and blocking, grounding, centering, all that good stuff. Know how to approach these situations so that you're just not an open vessel of availability for these people to energy vampire off of you. So I do want to point out that at the bottom of the deck, we do have the 10 of Cups and we do have the World card. There is a cycle that you are choosing to end in some capacity. And because of that, you're finding your true happiness and passion for life. And so it's going to make people angry, upset, trigger them, whatever. Because either they can't see it for themselves, or they don't understand why they can't use your energy anymore, whatever the situation is. So understand that oftentimes when you choose better for yourself, it's tough for other people because they're not choosing better for themselves. And some people can't even see how to do that. They're like, oh, well, I can't do that, so why is it fair that you get to do that? Just stuff like that. So just be aware of it. That's really all there is to it. So let me close this reading for you all with some affirmations. What closing affirmations do we have for the collective? Thank you. Directing my focus onto what's thriving creates more of what I want. Lovely. Lovely. All right, what else? I just saw 222. My super attractor power comes from how I feel, my faith and love, and the joy that I put out. Look at that. You are magnetic at this time. And again, you're attracting the two different types of people. You're getting the authentic ones, and then you're getting the avoidant ones. So you're going to have to know which ones deserve your energy. Manifesting is the creative process of aligning with the energy of the universe to co-create an experience that elevates my spirit and the spirit of the world. Love it. I'm just going to say that you are all doing beautifully, collective, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you that shows up for yourselves and to see these readings. And I really, truly do hope you all use your discernment with these messages and know that not every message is meant for you. And if this one wasn't, that's okay. There will always be others, okay? These are timeless readings, so whenever you stumble upon them is when you are meant to hear them. And I want to thank everybody that shows up. Everybody. You show up for yourself. You show up for others. You show up to this channel for this reading. You show up. That's all that's being asked of you. So thank you so much I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. I wish you all a lifetime of happiness, health, wealth, abundance, and so much love. Take care, everyone, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.